So, moving on, we're doing this kind of quick, but we're actually covering a lot of ground here. So, moving on, we're going to be talking about a movie that, frankly, I mean, we've both seen this movie, I think. So, there's going to be spoilers here. Glass Onion. So, Netflix is now. They were approached by movie theaters because the opening weekend. So let's backtrack a minute. Netflix is only putting this movie into theaters for 1 week. That's it. And it made $16 million its opening weekend. And because of that, movie theaters said, we want to keep it in our theaters. Now, anybody that knows the business of the movies, okay, knows that they have a very small and slight profit margin because a lot of the films, they don't get, movie theaters really only make their movies or profit from, that's why you pay $7 for popcorn. It's the theater.
Right.
Anyways, I digress. So a lot of the theaters, a lot of the chains, including Regal, AMC, they said, could you please keep it in there longer? And Netflix says, not so much. And this comes from the CEO, the co-CEO.
Why do you think that is?
Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. But he basically, on an earnings call, he basically said this: there are all kinds of debates all the time about this, back and forth. But there's no question internally that we make movies for our members, and we really want to have them seen on Netflix. End quote. So here's the question, and let me answer your question real quick. Why do you think that is? I think it's number one. Number one, they want to tease the audience because they, just like anything else, just like HBO Max or Apple TV or whatever it is, they want subscribers.
Yeah.
Because you gotta realize in the last 18 months, Netflix has gone through a lot of turmoil. They've had to lay people off. They've had lawsuits. They want to introduce ad-supported things. There was an article that just came out 2 days ago about them actually stopping the DVD deliveries to their homes, to your homes. So the short answer is money.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you guys
is the short answer, isn't it?
Yeah. So my question to you guys is this: one, do you think Netflix should have kept it in there in theaters longer? And two, if so, how long? Alicia, you first.
Elisa.
I always get your name wrong.
I know, it's okay. So wait, the question is, what's the question?
Do you think Netflix should have kept Glass Onion in the theaters longer? And if so, how long?
Like, if they were going to be a team player about trying to make sure that the movies survive, then yeah. But if they were going to do it, if they're just going to do money, which is, understandable, they are a business, then no, I get why they pulled it.
Okay. Kyle, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they didn't give it a full theatrical run because, one, the movie doesn't come out on Netflix until nearly Christmas Day. So it's still a number of weeks before the movie.
Oh, yeah.
People won't even be able to watch it in the number of weeks. So all that word of mouth is kind of going to fizzle away because no one's going to be able to see it for the next couple of weeks. And also, this is a big movie. A lot of people have talked about, why doesn't Netflix put some of their other movies out in theaters? And it's a number of their other movies aren't really big movies. They're movies that, like an Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. It has Chris.
Or Red Notice.
But
as another one. Go ahead.
Red Notice is, I think, the closest, right? Because that definitely has the star power. But
what about The Irishman? Was that not Netflix?
Well, that was actually. Yeah, but it was only in theaters for a week.
Yeah, but
and so
The Irishman.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Different though, because with The Irishman, it's a nearly 4-hour film, so it does make sense why they didn't release that in theaters. Whereas here, Glass Onion is, I think, 2 hours?
It's 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Almost 2 hours 30 minutes. But then the thing with Glass Onion is it's a sequel to a highly successful film. I don't know how much it made exactly, but Knives Out made a lot of money. It made, I think, nearly $400 million, if I remember correctly. And you're talking about a movie that would have gotten butts in seats, no problem, just as we're seeing with the box office for Glass Onion. It's really a shame that it didn't get that theatrical run. And, I mean, all of us saw Glass Onion, which is funny because I know a lot of people that saw Glass Onion, and unfortunately, we're the lucky ones because there are people that are international that didn't get to see it because it wasn't playing in international markets. It was only playing in theaters in, I believe, the United States or the UK, I think.
It actually made your point. It actually made almost $313 million.
Wow.
Worldwide. It made 165 here domestic, and it made another 147.5 overseas. So
why would
I mean,
you release the sequel to that great money making machine into theaters? That's the thing that really is frustrating because 1 week is good, but there's a lot of people that don't have time in a week to see a movie. They might need another week to see a movie.
Yeah,
right.
I think there's a couple questions that have to be asked here. Number one, why didn't they do it? And I understand what he said, okay, and because it comes down, it's a business decision at the end of the day. But number one, how much money did they leave on the table? That's the big question, because this had a $40 million budget, okay, and if they left it in there up until a couple of days prior to it going on Netflix, it could have made its money back plus some. That's number one. Number two, what happens in the future? Okay, we're obviously going to get a Knives Out 3 because Rian Johnson signed a deal for 3 films. But how long are they going to keep this in theaters for if they do it again? And the third thing is this. The reason why they're doing this is because they want to get subscriptions.
Right.
I'm dying to find out in Q4. I'm dying to find out how many subscriptions did they actually get. And of the subscriptions that they did get, how many because it was Glass Onion? Or because right now Stranger Things is in there. You don't have, Cobra Kai, you can binge watch that, and there is a term, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. You get something, you binge it, you cancel it. But nonetheless, Cobra Kai is still there. You can binge it and then cancel. I'm really curious to see how many subscriptions they're going to get because of this.
It's going to be big,
right,
David, because the movie is a great movie and it's a lot of fun to watch. And I feel like, and unfortunately, we're all like, if we want to watch this movie again, we're going to be forced to see it again on Netflix. So it's
going to depend. I think there's one thing it's going to depend on. This new ad-supported tier. Whatever this ad-supported tier is going to be and how much it's going to be, how many people are actually going to want to pay, and I'm just making a number up, folks, $17.99 a month. When, depending on where you live, okay, you can actually go to a Regal or an AMC, get an A-list or a Regal Unlimited Pass for $20, $25 a month. And you can see all the latest and greatest films as many times as you want. So that's going to be a fascinating thing. But at the end of the day, like you said, it all comes down to money. Because it's a business decision.
Yeah, it is.
So